What's good? You're watching Cat's Corner episode 11, and today we're going to do things a little different. Actually going to talk about something before we get into our picks, but make sure to stick around for our picks at the end of the video. We got some good stuff every week, stuff you should be picking up. But Cat, actually, you called me last week, and you read an article.
I can't remember the article, but I was here last Wednesday with one of my guys, and we're trying to figure out like the lineup for the Marvel comics coming up, the #1s, and there's some cool stuff. I mean, I'm looking forward towards. I mean, I'm looking for everything because a lot of cool stuff. But like one of the things we're trying to figure out if Ta-Nehisi Coates is gonna be, if they're gonna run 2 Captain America books, one with Wade, one with Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to figure it out because everybody's excited about Wade back on Cap, but I'm excited to see what Ta-Nehisi can do with Cap too.
Right.
Be interesting. I don't want to play the card, but you know what? Getting a different writer on a different character, sometimes you can get some really, really good stuff.
Absolutely.
So, but we came across an article and that talked about how Marvel is, and I was looking for it and I can't. I'll find out later and I'll let you know. But Marvel's going back. Somebody was complaining that Marvel's going back to traditional white male superheroes, and I was like, I lost my mind. I mean, not that I lost my mind, but it's like that's such an ignorant statement because it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Because Marvel, I mean, if anybody, Marvel's tried. I mean, Marvel's put out books that you normally wouldn't see. You have a book like America. You have a book like Score Girl, Gwenpool. You have Hawkeye. You have
the
Moon Girl and
Devil Dinosaur.
yeah. Iceman. You have so many books that are diverse. That
not to mention all the Luke Cages.
Luke Cages,
yeah.
I mean, how can you make that statement? I mean, I would love for these guys to come in and look at it from a business angle, and that's what these publishers are. I've said it before. These publishers are a business. They're not publishing. They're manufacturing a product, which is a comic book. It comes out. They have to produce so many numbers a month to call it either even or make a profit. If the book doesn't sell, they look at numbers. It's not like back in the 80s and the 90s where even 60s, 70s, all you just needed one title to sell 500,000 or more units. I mean, Jesus, if you watch the Kirkman special, you go back to the 50s and the 40s, they were selling the millions.
Right.
3-4 million copies.
So what's the Kirkman special? I have not.
Oh, he did on AMC, The History of Comic Books.
Okay.
I mean, it's phenomenal. But they talk about numbers, and it's like, brother, if the numbers are not there, they're not going to publish the book. It's got nothing to do with the book.
And the numbers are, they're not selling. People aren't buying physical comic books like they used to anymore.
I mean, if you
that's
want
part of the reason why we're doing this show.
If you want a book to survive and you think it's catered to you, don't just talk about it. Go buy it.
Yeah.
Keep it in print. Don't do that.
I think that's something to talk about too. Like I feel like the people that are making the biggest complaints about these type of things are people that don't read the books at all. They're not supporting comic books at all.
I feel like he did it just so people can read his article. I mean, dude, go get a job then.
I mean, that's part of the social climate that we're in is like clickbait titles will get you where you need to go. But I think I guess a better way of addressing this without turning this into a big trash talking thing is what's a better way of introducing diversity and these new characters in the books? And I think for me, that's the issue that I see, is that instead of introducing these characters in other more popular books and kind of bringing them along and letting readers grow with them, they just throw a book out there.
They throw and they make you want. They say you gotta buy this book.
Yeah, the perfect example. It's like force feeding, and it's like I'm not gonna read a book just because as a Latino that the character's Latino. I might read the first one just to check it out. But I don't know anything about the character. I don't know.
I want a Romanian character, and outside of Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier, there's no fucking Romanian superheroes, brother. Shit, I'm pissed right now.
But
no, not really.
But I guess I'll make an example of this is Mosaic. Now, his first appearance was in Inhumans, Uncanny Inhumans, which is already a book that nobody reads.
Nobody reads that book.
And then they really tried to put press out there, and they released his solo book right away. He had no exposure to this character other than the one Uncanny Humans book he was in.
And that issue catapulted. Where is it now? Probably, who cares?
No, nobody's buying that. Nobody cares about that. I got 3 or 4 copies sitting on at home that nobody wants. But they come out with Mosaic #1. Nobody cares because they don't know who this character is. And I feel like the same thing. They did the same thing with America. You know, America she was in the Vengeance books, and then she had. I don't read the Ultimates. You know,
I mean, she's and that's the thing. A lot of these characters, like you said, introduce them with other characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's don't just force feed them out there and expect people to like them. I mean, who are you catering to? I mean, if you pay attention to the numbers, to the demographics in the comic book industry, I mean, most people that read comic books are 30-year-olds and up.
Right.
I mean, these are 30-year-olds and older that have been reading since they were kids, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. I mean, you're trying to put something out that you're not interesting anybody in it, especially if the story's not that good.
Right.
You know, I mean,
it's I think to go back to it, I think that the issue is like instead of developing these characters and really like getting the loyal fan base involved, instead they're gimmicks. They're using them as gimmicks to try to get some cheap sales, and then, you know, after a while all these books get canceled. We've already seen, even with the success of the Black Panther movies and all the hype going into Black Panther
and the crew got canceled because the numbers weren't there.
The secondary books are going in.
The World of Wakanda got canceled and the numbers weren't there. You know, it's just it's frustrating as a businessman. I mean, or good as bad as I am, whatever, you know, to understand what these publishers go through on a monthly basis, to see what the distributors go through on a monthly basis, to hear people just complain about the wrong things. It's like, come on, guys, it's a business. It's, you know, the printer tells them, look, guys, your numbers are not, this title's lagging. What are you going to do? They're either going to cancel it or do something else. But most likely, if there's no hope, the title's going to go away, get replaced with the #1 because they need to make money. They need to stay in business.
And they're still, I mean,
and it's not the character's going away. She's going to be part of whatever team.
I feel like Marvel is getting like unjustly like villainized here because they've tried. I mean, for a perfect example is the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Nobody buys that book. The print run gets tinier and tinier every single month.
Just look it up. The numbers are online. You can actually look the numbers up, and they're not there, but they're keeping it in print.
They're trying.
You know, they're not axing it. I mean, I'm sure there's tough decisions because, again, you take them out, then you give, like you say, you get villainized or whatever, and it's like it's such a fine line you have to play with. But at the end of the day, it's all about green, and people forget it's all about money, you know. And you gotta stay in business. You gotta stay in business to justify printing another month.
And I think also, you know, Marvel has always been ahead of the
they've always been
when it comes to these characters.
You can go perfect example back in the 90s, with when you know the everybody was coming out gay, you know. What did they do? Man, they were right on it. North Star. And they stuck with that character.
Yeah.
Why not use North Star and bring them out again and put a book out and write a good book? People know them. And people, you know, 9/11 happened. They were right there, you know, doing it. I mean, every time there's something, you know, Marvel is right there, whether they kept capitalizing it or not. That's a different story, but they're there. They're there with the times.
And that's actually a commentary on, there's people out there like old-time readers that have been reading for years who complain that was like, oh, Marvel's getting real SJW, Marvel's getting real. It's like there's many politics in the books now, and that's bullshit. There's always been politics in Marvel books. Always. Since the 60s. There's been politics. Black Panther was created by Jack Kirby because of politics.
Yeah.
Well, that's just Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby says he invented him. You know, that's a fight. That's a fight. You know.
All right. Well, you know, whatever.
But these characters are created. You know,
everything's influenced by
the X universe
society.
was created because of because of racism, because of civil
rights.
rights.
That was the whole point about the X-Men. They were the outcasts, and they were fighting again for everybody, for the small people. You know. Marvel's there. I mean, DC's are there too with it. I mean, a different vibe to their books, but to single out Marvel and with a comment like that, it was pretty infuriating.
Right, absolutely.
Just because it made no sense. You know,
definitely.
It made no sense.
As a store owner, as a comic fan yourself, what do you think is a solution? Like, what could help with? I mean, because part of it is like, are you gaining new
I'm not.
new fans. Not you personally, but is Marvel, is DC, are any of these companies gaining new readers because of these choices? One, because I'll tell you something, and this is interesting. There's another podcast we listen to. They're called Blacker Than Black Times Infinity, up in the Bay Area. They're friends of mine. They call themselves Blurds, Black Nerds.
Okay.
And they, whenever Marvel switches the ethnicity of a character in a movie, they get upset about it. As
trust me, I have customers like that.
Right.
They're like, oh my God, what the?
So I bring that up because it's not just the white comic book guy with the ponytail that's getting upset by these switches.
It's the fans, the guys that are there and can they understand
what
it is.
And it doesn't matter their ethnicity either.
Like,
they also are not on board with changing.
We're not stupid, man. We know what's going on. We get it. I mean, we've been reading these things, and we get. We're used to what it is.
Yeah.
Don't change it. Don't insult us. Don't sit there and go, oh, no. I mean, create a character. Back it up. Work behind it. Put some time into it, just like they did back in the day. I mean, I don't know how true the story is or not, but somebody was telling me that back in the day when they created the new X-Men, Wolverine, all that. I mean, literally, I heard that they had to kill a character. One of them couldn't survive Krakoa, and it was a flip coin between Wolverine and Warpath.
Wow.
And Wolverine lasted, and
smart move.
Smart move. If that's the case. But again, they stuck with them. I mean, you were talking.
Thunderbird, actually.
Well, Thunderbird, they stick with characters. You create those, and that's how they used to. I mean, look at in the '90s, they were introducing all these weird X-Men. Maggot, this, that, They stuck with them, and they gave them a chance. And if they didn't work, they didn't work. But the ones that worked, they kept going. Right. You gotta stick. Good stories, man. Just write good stories. Don't be influenced by one person online that complains. I've always said, internet is bad. It's social media is bad.
I want to make a comparison too. Marvel tried a gimmick. They brought in Ta-Nehisi Coates. Never wrote a comic book in his life. Actually, I don't even think he was a huge comic book fan either, but he was a published author, had a couple of good best-selling books, and they gave it a shot. They gave him Black Panther, and they said, hey, we want you to write Black Panther, see what you can do with it. And he's done a pretty good job, and people like it.
Yes.
On the flip side, with America, they bring in this woman who'd only wrote, I think she wrote one book, and I think it was, I'm not sure the book exactly, but some sort of memoirs or something. She wasn't really an author, definitely not a comic book fan. And because she was a Puerto Rican lesbian, which America Chavez is a Puerto Rican lesbian from the Bronx, they thought, okay, well, her voice will give this character some great story, and it didn't work out. And it's like, it doesn't always work. It's not like, and I think part of it too is like, yeah, you struck gold with Ta-Nehisi Coates, but the guy's already written a few books, one, and two, you gave him an established character with an established universe that he could learn from, he could research on.
And you had people like Christopher Priest and Reggie Hudlin that came before him that really enriched that character that Marvel created back in the 70s, and you don't see much of it, but they came along and they wrote some great stuff, and Tanishi, it made it easier for him to come in because it's already established.
He had stuff to work with.
Exactly.
Okay?
It wasn't
America Chavez, on the other hand, I can't even tell you how many books she's been in. I'm gonna assume she's probably been in like 20 issues before that #1 issue came out. So you gave this non-experienced writer a character who has not much of a backstory, and she's not a comic book writer on top of that, and you're expecting her to come up with this great story universe for people to get into, and of course they're not going to get into it because the writer doesn't know what she's doing, and there's nothing to give her to help her either. They kind of set her up to fail, banking on the gimmick portion of the character.
It's almost like, I remember when Runaways came out, with Brian K. Vaughan. He was hot off Y the Last Man back in the day. He had a few books, and they gave him Runaways, and one of the goals, what they tried to do is they tried to keep it away from the rest of the Marvel universe. And yeah, it was poppy, but then people lost interest because it wasn't interacting with the rest of the heroes on a regular basis, part of that bigger Marvel universe. Yeah. And the book went away. It came back a few times, and they started introducing it into the Marvel universe, but they stuck with those characters.
Yeah.
And now they got a show on Hulu. Wait, is it on Hulu?
Yeah, it's on Hulu, yeah.
And I hear it's pretty good. So you know what? Stick with it. Don't just throw it out there. Just stick with it and go through the ups and downs with the characters. But give it a shot. Give it a running shot from the beginning. Don't just, oh, here, done. You know, it sticks, it sticks, it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, whatever. You know, it's tough, man. You know, publishing is tough nowadays. There's no readers. If you look at the numbers, it's worse and worse every month. So it's like, you know, if I was running a publishing company, look, what works, man? You know, shit, superheroes work. Traditional superheroes. It's got nothing to do with anything else but the fact that these characters have been around for 60 plus years. You know, they've sold once, they'll sell again. Because at the end of the day, that's all it's about. It's that dollar. You know, I don't care what people say. It's about the dollar. I'm in business to make money. I love comics. I love reading. But I'm here. I mean, I have got a family to feed. I got rent to pay. I got this, that, the other. And it's like that for every other dealer in this industry.
But there's a solution to the problem. If you want more inclusive characters, if you're a part of one of these communities that doesn't feel represented in the comic book world, support it. You need to go out and buy these books, and you need to tell people about these books and say, hey, you know what? This book right here, it's great. It's a great book. A lot of people aren't reading it, but I think you should check it out and spread the word because, you know, 40-year-old comic guy that's been reading Spider-Man since he was
he's not going to read anything else.
He's not going to pick up anything new. You know, he's going to look at it. He's going to be like, you know, he's just going to buy Spider-Man, especially like I've noticed myself, like the older I get, I start kind of parsing down what I buy. But when I was younger, I'd buy everything, and now it's kind of like, I know these characters. This is what I'm going to read. This is what I'm going to stick to. You know, I'm not really interested in jumping into a new character, especially if I haven't come across them in one of the books that I already read. So that's the other thing about it is like if you're, you know, I mean, it's just this is the criticism I have of Marvel and of DC is that if you want to establish and make a new character, you really need to introduce them through your big guns. You need to show them interacting with your Spider-Mans, with your Captain Americas, with your Supermans, with your Batmans, and that is how you eventually.
But they've done, and that's how they used to do it back in the day.
Right, but now they're not.
Well, they're not.
Yeah.
You know, and DC's another story, and it's like, oh my God, they're about to.
So before we get to our picks segment, I sent you an article. Actually, Daniel sent it to us about the co-writer of Black Panther criticizing Tony Stark as a character, saying that basically that he's a womanizer and kind of a misogynist, and that the character wouldn't work now if they try to put Iron Man out now. It wouldn't work because of it.
I saw the movies and I'm like, it's Tony Stark. The guy is rich, playboy. He's got money. He's got power. I mean, again, it's I don't think is he better than everybody? He's better than a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, you know, he's a super genius. I mean, for Pete's sake. I mean, look, you know, when you're talking with people with egos and smart, they're all gonna be like that.
Right.
You know, and it's not like it's a lie. You know, it just I try to make something out of nothing. Personally, I don't know.
I think that the key to whatever you want to say about his behavior with women, I think it's a key element to his character, and it makes up who he is, and it makes him. There's always that contrast with the character. Like he does all these noble things, but then on the other side, he's a jerk. You know, people don't like him. Like if you read the books, like Tony Stark,
always been like that.
He's not a popular guy amongst the other superheroes at all. You know, he's kind of an asshole. He's rich. He's privileged. He knows it. He throws it in your face when he has to, but he saves the day. And he's conflicted with himself. I think for me, I think part of Tony Stark's appeal is that he has a sort of self-hatred. He hates himself. He knows he's a piece of shit. So he's always trying to do these great things to redeem himself. Because he knows, you know, he's always battled with alcohol. He's had alcoholism. You know, he's got the romance with Pepper Potts that he never like seems to solidify because she knows like, hey, dude, you're not ready for me. You can't handle this. You know, you're still a kid. You're still a child in this playboy millionaire genius's body. And I think that's what makes Tony Stark.
Exactly.
You know, it's layers to the character, and I think sometimes. You know, we can always pick apart things and just focus on one thing. Oh, well, he sleeps around and, you know, he always has a different chick on his arm. You know, same thing with Bruce Wayne. You know, the difference between Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne, though, is we know Bruce Wayne is doing it as a facade because he's trying to hide his true self. Because Batman is Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne isn't Batman. You know, like Batman is pretending to be Bruce Wayne. That's always been the character.
No, it's why. I mean, it's frustrating to have read that. It's again because you know. I mean, we were talking earlier about, you know, how James Bond, you know, it's like, and a lot of these characters that are created, they're not just created out of thin air. I mean, these writers, they'll sit there and they'll look, okay, what do we need? What's out there that we can copy? I mean, there's no originality anymore. You know, it hasn't been in a long time. So your character is going to reflect somebody else that you've seen, you know. So you can say Tony Stark could be James Bond for that matter. I mean, you know, without the money, whatever. But it's...
No, but
if the stories are good...
I will say, and I haven't seen the movie, so I can't 100% critique it, though, but... Red Sparrow came out last weekend, starring Jennifer Lawrence, and the big criticism about it, and the reason why people haven't gone to see it, is that the movie was supposed to be about this super like espionage kind of La Femme Nikita deal, and it turns out it's just about this woman who like seduces men for information. So the people are so there might be some validity to like. If Tony Stark's out there smashing left and right, it might turn off some viewers. I don't think so, because I feel like that.
But you don't see that.
No, it wasn't a huge part of that movie either. Exactly.
You don't see it's Disney, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
You're not gonna see that. These characters are they're running around Disneyland. They're not gonna want anything associated like that.
Exactly.
So for them to
it's kind of a weak argument, and it's like not valid. It's not the most valid thing, but I just thought
it's frustrating, and it's like, look, again, these books are not selling in the millions to where you can make progress with society and change anybody's view. You're not. You're selling 40, 50, 60,000 units, 100,000 units across the U.S. Okay, leave us alone.
Yeah.
You know, leave us alone. Let us read our comics. Don't try to change anybody's view. Now, again, if these numbers get into the 5, 6, 7 millions, then yeah, okay, if I'll be the first one to support, you know, change. But until then, stop. Just let us read some superheroes, man. Let us get away from the rigors of life.
I think a better way of putting that is, if you want change,
buy the book.
Go out there, support the book, and make the change happen. That's really more than anything. Make the change, force the change to happen by using the almighty dollar.
Yeah, that's all it's about.
That's the most power any of us have. But stick around. Coming up next, our picks for March 14th.
It's another busy week. A lot of good stuff. Dark Horse, if you're a Neil Gaiman fan, you got the next chapter of American Gods coming in. So, you know, I know the first run did really well. On the DC end.
Speaking of Neil Gaiman, did you hear the news that he's coming out with his own like
imprint?
No, it's still Vertigo, but it's going to be like an extended Sandman universe. So he's going to be like overseeing like solo expanded
that could
books.
be good.
Yeah,
that could be good. I'm not saying no to that. If we bring people back in.
Exactly. So all you Sandman fans out there, be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. DC, we have Detective Comics. I've been reading it, and I love that whole dynamic of the Bat family and with Batwoman being on the Oscars because what she had to do. So that storyline keeps going. I like it. You got Mr. Miracle, which another chapter of this crazy good book. Everybody's on it. Wonder Woman is another pick for me for this week. I love Robinson and this whole Dark Side war starting against the Amazons. It's going to be awesome. And you have the Green Lantern hardcover, Earth 1. That should be good. They've done really good with these hardcovers outside of the mainstream universe. I'm looking forward to that. And
you know me, I'm all about the variants. So this week, check out Batgirl's Birds of Prey number 20. There's an Adam Hughes variant out there. I've seen pictures of it. It looks real nice. A little more subtle than some of his other stuff. So if you're an Adam Hughes fan, definitely pick that up, especially because you're probably going to get it for cover price. Justice League of America number 26. B cover is sold out. I'm just throwing that out there because whenever I see one of these variants sold out, it's something that...
Well, it's Matina, so...
Exactly. It's a Matina cover.
I like the Supergirl cover for this week.
It's another...
The Lau cover.
Oh, it's another Argent.
Yeah, it's an Argent. It's a Peter David throwback.
Okay.
You know, the suit that... the white shirt with the blue skirt, so that looks really good.
And then there's always the Jenny Frison Wonder Woman variants. Right. They're all nice. They're decent. Something to look into. Those are all long-term holds too. I've mentioned that before. Like these B covers, the print runs are going to be lower.
Put them away,
and just hold on to them for a few years. Yeah. And then I don't know what's going on with Scooby-Doo Apocalypse number 23, but both covers are sold out right now.
Don't ask me for them because I ordered them straight from my pull list. I'll tell you right now, I don't have any because that book only goes to the pull list. Doesn't even make the shelf.
So there you go.
Word up! I'm not going to have Scooby-Doo 23 on Wednesday.
But so that I'm bringing this up for a reason. if it's sold out already at Midtown and these other online distributors,
it could be because it's a low print run,
right?
And they've been cutting down numbers.
Exactly, but there's always something to it. There might be something inside. I saw like kind of zombified looking covers. Check, you're gonna see that. I mean, the picture's gonna be up right there.
Right.
Something to think about. These might be ghost books. If you find it somewhere, pick them up, hold on to them because there's something about them. You never know. I mean, like Kat's told me plenty of time. If you want to make money buying and selling comic books, get into real estate. Because
it's a crapshoot.
Exactly. There's no
Image has this new title. I've been hit by a couple of people that I've never seen before. Infidel #1. So and I kind of like the solicitation on it.
Okay.
It was it looked interesting. Horror, I think, with some feeding on the insecurity of the times that we live. You know, hating against Muslims or gays or whatever. So that looks like a really good read. I'm looking forward to reading that one. Marvel, man. I know
big
people
Marvel week.
People call me I'm a Marvel fan. I'm not, dude. I'm just I love work. I love quality work, and Marvel right now is doing some quality work. I've been following Astonishing X-Men. I'm loving that book. You got the next chapter of Avengers, which Bruce Wayne Hulk is coming back.
On the cover too.
On the cover too. So, and it's been solid storytelling. You got another issue of Doctor Strange. Like I said, Donny Cates, you know, he's great. You got Marvel 2-in-1, such a fantastic book. For not having a Fantastic Four book on the market and having this book, it's such a fresh breath to read this book every time it comes out. Peter Parker's out again, and that's after the last issue, 300. I would like to see where it goes. Punisher's been good by Rosenberg. And then you got Star Wars Darth Vader and then Star Wars Thrawn. Man, those books are just... Those two books are so solid, and Thrawn #1 was so great to see that character brought into the main fold from the Dark Horse universe. So I highly recommend Thrawn and Vader and everything else I mentioned.
And then on my side, New Mutants are coming out with a new book.
That's another one I'm looking forward to.
The John Tyler Christopher trading card cover is already sold out. I don't know what's going on with this book, but I know now that
there's nothing.
There's a Fox deal. There was a New Mutants movie being developed, and now that Fox is, you know, it's the deal's still not 100% complete, but it's probably going through. I think Disney acquiring Fox is leading people to push the New Mutants again. So this might be a book to check out.
Well, I mean, what I've heard is that I could be wrong, but I've heard through different channels that until the deal gets finalized, Disney's saying just do what you got to do.
Right.
So we'll see once the deal finalizes if Disney, Marvel keeps what Fox did or just going to go, okay, you had your run.
With that being said, I think Marvel, because of knowing that they're pushing these new...
just to bring...
The X books are getting... They're getting
better again.
They're getting better. So it's a book to check out.
Yeah. And again, for I don't know, God, how many weeks in a row, Thanos, man. And not yet another printing for Thanos 14. Third print with a different cover.
People love the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Man, that book is insane. I've been asked for it this past weekend like 10 times. They were just like, you know. An honorable mention from last week. I don't think it's going to last, but somebody mentioned it. So everybody went crazy. Was Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. No, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 28.
From 2 weeks ago.
Was it 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. You know, that book's insane. Is it going to last? I don't know, but...
It's a 2-week-old book, and it's going for $25.
Probably more by now. I don't know. It was,
for all you people out there that have a local dealer, you know, we all know a shop or two that doesn't really pay attention to eBay or whatever. And you know, if you come across a copy of Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur number 28 for cover price, pick it up. And
it can't go wrong. It's $4.
Do what you need to do with it. I'm just going to leave it at that. But you got any other picks for this week?
There was a couple of things out of the indie market. One thing that stood out for me was Come Into Me from Black Mass Studios. They've been doing some really cool stuff. I like those guys. Some really solid books.
If I have any issue with Black Mask is that they're never on time. That's the issue.
But they do good stuff, and it's got an interesting concept. Like, what if two people can inhabit the same body? It's kind of like it's a really interesting concept. I'm looking forward to reading that one. But that's it for me this week. Again, heavy Marvel week. I can't.
He's a Marvel fanboy.
I'm not a Marvel fanboy, man. I just love good shit, you know.
that's going to do it for this week. You know the drill. Smash that like button. Leave comments if you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes, Overcast, Stitcher Radio. Make sure to, on iTunes especially, if you haven't already done so, give us a 5-star rating under the Daniel and Gian Talk channel. And
put the iPad down, go out, buy a floppy on Wednesday, support your local comic book store wherever you're at. Let's keep this thing going.
All right. See you next time.